Okay, hello there. Are you still there? I hope so, because here we are again outside for another talking video, and yeah, what a journey this has been over the last few months. We've talked about money and our attitude and language, making good decisions, and growing in our faith in God. There have been a lot of good videos, and well, I hope that all of this has been um, inspiring, and I hope it can motivate you to be the best person you can be. And well, yeah, here is still one more talking video that I would like to share, and some of this may sound familiar. However, I still want to create this talking video because there may be some other points that I have not mentioned yet. So yeah, let's get into it. And well, this is really going to be about two different subjects, one leading into another, as you can see from the title. Living what we preach, being uncool to the world. And well, really, this all starts with living what we preach. And yeah, for all of us who care about God and follow Him, yeah, it is one thing to say to people that you that you care about God and you read the Bible and you're making good decisions for Him and staying away from the bad. However, if you only say that and your actions and your lifestyle are the opposite, then it's not being honest, and it doesn't really mean as much when you're just saying that you care about God and yet your actions show that you're not really living for Him. It is very important to say that we care about God and live what we are preaching. And when I say certain things like I pray to God and I read the Bible and I have a devotional, then yes, I really should do my part by praying and reading the Bible and having a devotional, and I do. And also with the things that I say, what I'm saying, I'm trying to stay away from the filthy jokes, and I'm staying away from the drinking, smoking, and the impure lifestyle. Then yeah, I need to live what I'm saying and truly stay away from those things. And again, I do, as in I am staying away from those bad things. And um, yeah, it's just very important to live what you are preaching, because it's honest, and it would definitely make your church family happy and your family at home happy. And well, for the people out there watching you in the world, I'm thinking of people who are undecided, or even those who say at a time, I don't care about God. When those people look at you and you say that you care about God and you are truly living for Him, well, maybe with those undecided people or those against God, maybe some of those people will start to think. They may actually start to think about caring for God, because they can see that you are both saying you care about following God and you are actually living it. There's no guarantee that it's going to influence everyone to accept God, but it just may make some people out there think. And, well, most importantly, God can see everything that we do, and yeah, God would want us to both say that we are living for Him and then we actually are living it. And yeah, I know that it can be easier to live for God in certain places and it can be tougher in other places. You know, when we are at church on a Sunday morning or a different activity at a church, yeah, it feels a lot easier to live for God there. And, well, when we are at home in our private living space that we call home, yeah, it can be easier to live for God there because we are away from all of those critic people out there. But then in other places like at school and work and other settings, I know it can be tougher because we are not in our, comfortable little house away from people, and we are not in a church setting where, that message is being shown to us again and again. When we are out at school or work or other settings in the world, the secular world, yeah, I know it may feel tougher to live for God in those places because there are going to be people who may give us a hard time about living for God. And, well, what I am encouraging you is to, live what you preach at all times. Living what we preach at all times. Living for God at all times. Even in the places where it can be tougher. And, well, this kind of segues into the other point of this video. And when you are living for God in those other places where it's tougher, get prepared. Get prepared for certain people to say to you that you are uncool. That you are uncool. Get prepared for it, because not every person out there is going to be someone who cares about God, and when they see you standing up for yourself and you are resisting a bad choice, then someone at some point is bound to give you a hard time and say something like that. And, well, when I think of the words cool and uncool, I know that a lot of people, when they are young, they want to be cool. As in, they want to be popular and accepted by everyone and have a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, and they do not want anyone to laugh at them or to make their reputation uncool. Yeah, a lot of people in their teenage years and 20s and even 30s want to be cool. And there are people who will, throw off their faith and try to fit in with the cool crowd, even if the cool crowd is tempting them with very bad ideas. And honestly, it's not worth it in the end to go along with the worldly cool crowd and their bad ideas, because, yeah, these bad ideas can lead to some really severe consequences that can affect you for life. You know, when the cool crowd may say to you, yeah, why don't you get into drinking alcohol and getting drunk at this party? Or here, try a cigarette, you know? All the cool people drink and smoke. And hey, why don't you participate in the impure lifestyle? Don't worry about the consequences. Yeah, um, there is a lot of that in history and still to this day. And yeah, I mean, there are consequences for all of those things. The drinking and smoking can lead to very bad health. And, well, for the drinking part, it can, you know, make people lose their ability for a while to think clearly, and then really bad decisions are made. And uh, like the one person who I've known for 20 years now, he always had anger issues, and one night he was drunk and he got mad at his girlfriend and he hit her, and she called the police. And you know, it's all because this guy was angry and drunk. He physically hurt someone, and then he went to jail for a few months, and he said that was not a good place to be, and I believe it. And then after this guy was let out of jail, he was required to take anger management classes for several months, and all of those classes cost him money. And yeah, it's a shame that this one guy got into drinking beer maybe when he was 18 years old, or maybe even a little bit younger. I don't remember when, but the fact is, this guy went along with something that the world showed him was cool, and it led to some really bad choices and consequences for him. And well, we all know what smoking can do. It can really hurt our lungs and our breathing, and you know, it can also influence other people to get into it, and then you have more people with health problems from smoking and drinking. And well, with the impure lifestyle, when people say, yeah, don't worry about the consequences, even if, you know, someone gets pregnant and, you know, a new baby is brought into the world. Well, I've seen it with some people I know personally who have gone along with that choice of risking starting a family when they are not married. And yeah, there's been a lot of single parents as a result, and young people who are poor and very, very stressed out from raising a child when it's just, you know, one parent, and they have very little money. And you know, a lot of these people were just not staying connected to their faith, and they were not strong in saying, no, I don't want to participate in that. And I hope for you that you can develop a strong confidence and a strong self-esteem in saying it and living it at all times, where you say, yes, I care about God and his ways, and I do not want anything to do with the bad stuff. I hope that you can say that and also live what you preach at all times. And if anyone out there ever calls you uncool, then do not let it get to you. Because, you know, in the mind of a lot of secular people in the world, they think that making good choices and turning down bad choices is uncool. But in God's mind, and God who is more important, in God's mind, making good choices and staying away from the bad is not uncool to him, but rather it is honorable to make good choices and stay away from the bad, and not really worrying about that superficial cool crowd. And for me, yeah, I've said it before, but I'll say it again, that it has been worth it for me, even in the times when someone has called me uncool, or the one time at Cedar Point Hollow Weekends where I was talking about one of these subjects, when I was telling a certain guy, no, I don't want anything to do with that, and he said to me, "You are lame, Mr. Callahan. You are lame." Well, I think his attitude was lame, and well, that was someone who I would only see for one season at Hollow Weekends. He was very temporary, and it didn't um, it didn't change the fact that I am still going strong in the faith, in my decision making, and I would like to keep it that way. It has been worth it, even in those times where some people have called me uncool or lame. And well, I'm also very glad that I have had the inner circles of people in my life who have been very good to me. That is also very important, to remember who you are hanging out with, because some friends may be very good influences, and other friends, other people out there may be bad influences. And we just want to be careful about who we are hanging out with. And if you are in grade school, middle school or high school, or even college, well, I know that we are surrounded by more people and a lot more immaturity for a while. But if you can stay strong through it all, then yeah, just remember what I have said here today and what I am motivating you to do. To both say, I care about God and his ways, and I want nothing to do with the bad, and also to live what you are preaching about God. And if anyone calls you uncool or lame because you're shooting down a bad idea, then do not let it get to you. Always remember to do what is right in God's mind, and I hope that things can turn out very well for you as you continue to live your life in this kind of world where, yeah, there are people who will tempt you with bad ideas, but like I said, making good choices and turning down the bad is uncool to the world, but making good choices and turning down the bad is not uncool in God's mind. Yeah, I just hope you can always remember that, and remember everything that I've had to say here today. Just take this with you every day, and I hope things turn out very well for you as you live your life. And with that, I think I have said everything that I have wanted to mention in this video today. And yeah, this video should be in the new playlist that I have recently created with the talking videos and other footage of me. And yeah, it should be in there, and we'll see what other talking video ideas I may have. And yeah, here we are now. It is definitely springtime, and I am definitely excited for Nettie's to reopen and Scooters, for some hot dogs, and we're getting that much closer to the first day when the patio may have donuts again, hopefully on weekends in April and early May, and then that first indoor meal at the patio on May 23rd. You know, I love this time of year, and that excited feeling never gets old. I'm really excited about all of that. So yeah, just stay well during this time, and yeah, all of that should be here before we know it, and over time there should be some more videos here on my YouTube as well. So thank you very much for watching. Stay well, be strong, and I'll see you all again for another video really soon. Thank you.